I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We have tracked down the elusive Zephyr Blaze. Hello!
Hello!
I was just telling Zephyr that we tried to do this basically 11 months ago. almost
a year ago.
Yeah, almost to the exact moment. And it was kind of funny because I just DM'd you and noticed that, oh, wow, this is almost to the exact date. That's okay. We're willing to wait. We're willing to wait for such an exclusive and wonderful guest such as yourself. So here we are. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi everyone. The name is Zephyr Blaze, or Zephyr, or Zephyr is fine as well.
Mm-hmm.
I am an interdimensional or alien or basically an excuse me. Yeah, words.
You had a year to prepare.
I know, right? This happens all the time with me. Words are hard, man.
They're not the easiest thing. I can tell you that.
But yeah, I am a dimension hopper, or as some would say, an interdimensional alien.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I came to this world to find a home and eventually put on the best show the multiverse has ever seen, or at least that's my dream.
That's good. That's excellent. We could use it. That's for sure. Thank you for coming on and being patient with me and getting everything set up. And so, how long have you been doing the VTuber thing?
It's almost 2 years now. Like I started in late April, a couple days after my birthday.
Right.
Like April 28th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, April 28th, like almost a little close to midnight that day.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I think it was like around 10 p.m.
Yeah. And you just got you just got the courage up then to turn the microphone on?
Yeah.
Was it?
But yeah, like in the past, I have given some thought to like content creation, but up until like it wasn't until like mid 2021 that I finally got the courage to get started on it.
Yeah. It's one thing to have all the stuff ready to go. It's another thing to actually turn it on and use it.
Well, the thing is, I didn't at the time. I needed like a powerful computer, so I needed to get the money for all the parts to build the darn thing.
Yeah.
And then of course I needed to have an avatar.
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to come up with one? Did you have the idea for it already?
For the avatar, I don't exactly remember how long that took, or for the concept. I mean,
yeah.
I only remember is I wanted to make something that like felt like a shonen protagonist.
Yeah.
At least in terms of design.
Yeah. And did it come to you in kind of a rush, or was it bit by bit you came up with the design?
More bit by bit. Like I was looking at like a frick ton of references, like other VTubers at the time, and then other shonen protagonists,
right?
Like say Yugi Moto, Midaka Kurokami from Midaka Box.
Mm-hmm.
I remember her being one of the inspirations.
Yeah, so you're that's the type of stuff you enjoy, huh? That type of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So are you basically a walking encyclopedia of that right now?
Of like a shonen anime?
Yes.
Actually haven't watched much anime lately, so no.
older
maybe
older shonen
maybe
anime.
like 90s or 2000s anime at best.
Yeah, I used to I had kind of a reputation when I was younger of knowing a lot about uh, baseball statistics and stuff when I was in the
Mm.
early part of radio. The problem is it stops at about 1985. I don't know anything after that. So if somebody asked me about something that happened yesterday, I'm like, I have no idea. But if you ask me about 1967, I can tell you the starting lineup. A lot of useless information is crammed into my head. But
Yeah.
the so you got started. Was it easy for you to turn the microphone on, or were you someone who doesn't really like to get in front of audiences?
Back then, how do I explain this? Actually, I do sort of have a background in content creation. Like,
What?
before I started all of this, I did used to be part of a oh, sorry, my computer monitor blacked out for a second. It was like going to sleep mode.
Yeah. Oh, that was the virus. Don't worry. It'll settle in here in a little bit. It'll be fine.
But yeah, I used to be a part of this content creation group called the Autism News Network, and well, as the name might suggest, it revolves around people with autism,
Mm-hmm.
and I was part of that group mainly as like a video editor,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes an interviewer.
Mm. So you got to do the interviewing yourself, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Sometimes.
how many interviews did you get to do?
I want to say like 4 or 5, maybe 6 over the course of my time in that group.
Yeah.
But I think most I did was video editing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Was interviewing easy for you to do, or was it something you had to kind of teach yourself?
It was mostly easy because I already had the questions written out, like as a script.
Right. Yeah. That's the way for some folks can do it, and they're just more comfortable with it. I've never been comfortable with that myself, but it's because after a while I've done so many of them now that it's a little bit easier for me. But if that's what works for you, and especially I guess in that format, it would kind of work pretty well. So did you enjoy talking with these folks that you barely knew?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think at least part of my experience there was yeah, I think that was at least part of what led me to becoming a VTuber.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't exactly the main one. There's like 2 other factors.
Yeah.
One of them was like there's a PokeTuber. Well, like his main source of content was Pokemon related.
Mm-hmm.
Whose channel is unfortunately defunct now. There's a long story there. But yeah, he was called or his channel was called the Silver Link Networks, and I looked up to the guy that ran that channel, and I even got to be in at least a couple of his videos.
Yeah.
I think at one point I tried to sit down and make a video myself, but after like a couple seconds after I turned the camera on, I chickened the frick out.
What am I doing? Get me out of here now.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we've all had a few of those experiences. Oh my God! There's an old comedy bit of somebody doing a newscaster in space, and they go to him and he says, "Oh my God, get me down." First words come out of his mouth. I've made a terrible mistake. But yeah,
Like,
you got
what
your
have I
toe.
signed myself up for?
Yes, yes. I mean, you got your toe in the water a little bit with it. Anyway, you kind of testing it out. What did you learn from that? I mean, did you learn that it was going to be a little tougher, or did you learn that did it kind of keep you away from trying it again for a while?
It definitely kept me away from trying it again for a while. It wasn't until yeah, yeah. I think I mentioned this, but it wasn't until like 2021 that the big factor that came in that led me to this. It was actually a former Hololive member that graduated around that time. Her name was Kiryu Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know of her?
I have heard the name.
All right. But yeah, back then she was rather unhinged from what I saw of her content.
Yeah.
There's sort of a joke with her content that her videos or streams was like she was like a sort of a drug dealer in terms of that. And she called it Asa Coco, and you can sell it as products like as a copium well, I know earlier I said this was no NSFW, but I may have to dip into that just a tiny bit.
Do what you need to do.
One of them was and I kid you not, a freaking butt plug in the shape of her tail.
Well, you know, there's merchandise and there's merchandise.
Exactly.
Whatever pays the bills.
It was just so unhinged, and normally I don't touch content that dips into NSFW territory, but I ended up loving it.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's got to be a way to doing things too. I mean, there's some people who can do like a regular joke, and you look at them like, what in the world did you just say? But there's other people who do it in a certain way, and you just can't help but laugh at it. It's a very strange thing to try and plan out. But some people are just that spontaneous, you know. They can come up with all sorts of stuff, and you just laugh along with them. And there's so many people like that now on the VTuber scene. I think anyway. Is that what you want to do with your channel? Be someone spontaneous and bring everybody with you while you're doing it?
I have thought about it in the past. Like trying to think of what to say here.
Don't worry, take your time. I always like trying to have the exact right words to describe things. I think it goes back to my crosswords and Scrabble days. You'll learn a lot of words in crosswords that you'll never use again.
Yeah, you just gotta connect the dots.
Yes, I didn't. Yeah, use a word with 3 Z's and an X. Yeah, you're not gonna find too many of those. But yeah, it's a situation where you just really want to draw people into your world, or do you want to set something up for them to enjoy?
It's a little bit of both, actually. It's
you're just
like yeah. When I first heard of Kiryu Coco, it was a little after the announcement of her like a graduation.
Yeah.
Which when I heard about it, they all seemed to love her deeply, and despite her being ridiculously unhinged.
Still pretty unhinged, but in a different way. Yes. But still very much well thought of in that regard. And you know, it's just frustrating a little bit too to see somebody who seems so natural at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to try and copy that, but it sounds to me like you're pretty chaotic.
But only enough during streams I'm mostly chill. But
I,
well, chill, but well, with some gremlin moments dashed in.
well, I mean, that's what makes it fun. That's the fun part of it. I mean, so when I tune into one of your streams, what am I going to watch? What do you have up there?
Um. Well, I mainly have like I'm mainly on the channel playing RPGs
Uh-huh.
and on occasion during like community nights, which is Saturdays, I
Yeah.
will fire up Guilty Gear Strive, so everyone can come into a room and kick my ass. In fact, that's usually what happens during that day. Those days.
That says a little about your personality too.
I'm not a masochist, I swear.
please come to my channel on this day and just kick me around. I'm not a masochist, I promise. Well, I mean, some folks are unintentional ones. That's what I used to call myself. My little league team went 0-15 one year, and I said, we were just unintentional masochists. That's all we were. But the so you are the interaction that you have with your audience. Is that something that you have been able to get naturally, or have you had to work at it, or is it comfortable for you?
Oh, I had to work towards it because at the very beginning, I was a nervous wreck. In fact, during on the night of my debut stream, oh boy, it was the grand central station of skulls.
Well, that's what debuts are for, isn't it? That's what.
Yeah.
Warts and all. Here we go.
Yeah. Wait, trying to think what all happened that day.
You tried to blot it out in your mind.
Yeah, obviously I had my avatar and the overlays ready, and I thought I read it myself, but no.
What?
Oh my god. Okay, I think I remember one other thing I have it. Okay, I had a tab open with my stream on that day, and I actually had a volume up on it, so it was repeating.
No.
Yeah, and oh my god. I kicked myself on what I did there, but I was listening to make sure it was being said, but I didn't know it would repeat.
Oh, so you had this endless loop going on.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from? Where's it coming from? Yeah. Why am I being punished?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, that type of stuff happens. That'll happen to somebody after 10 years of doing stuff. I know in radio, 20 years in, I was still doing ridiculous things on the air, like leaving a tab on the computer for something, and then all of a sudden something goes over the air, some sort of music plays or something, and I had to try to explain it live. Don't worry about that. That definitely wasn't something that I shouldn't have been watching.
Oh, you haven't even heard the kicker from that day yet.
What happened?
As it turns out, and I didn't notice at first, but the VOD wasn't saved. I was under the impression that Twitch VODs were saved automatically, like by default. I didn't know at that time that you had to go into settings to make sure they're saved.
Oh. There's always one setting that's not clicked that you wanted to click, and then but that happens to be just the one that would save your inaugural broadcast. Well, you can
when I
always. Here's one thing you can remember later on in life. You can always come on and tell people that it was such a successful and smooth broadcast, and they won't be able to figure it out because there's no evidence.
there's no first Zephyr plays they abuse stream and
Yes,
bossing say.
that's right. I know a old college basketball coach that used to not tell people his age because supposedly his birth certificate was burned up in a fire back in the 20s, so he wouldn't tell
Oh
anybody what his
god.
age was. It was a perfect birth, and every time you ask him, he gave a different date. Couldn't prove it. We just went along with what he said. But well, now that you got your feet on the ground now, and you're rolling pretty good. I mean, uh, getting an audience to come back for you, and come back and watch you again and again. How does that hit you when you realize that you've got audience that wants to come see you no matter what you're doing?
It honestly feels really good, but like before all this, I didn't imagine I would be doing this, but it like I said before, it all comes back to Kiryu Coco because she gave me the inspiration, the motivation
Mm-hmm.
to do all this,
Mm-hmm.
and reminded me of my dream because which I actually mentioned before.
Yeah.
It's not just a part of the lore. It's something I actually want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The whole best show ever thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're following quite an entertainer. That's some big shoes to fill. But I mean, you got your own spin on it. You're doing your own thing on it, which is great. And people aren't coming because they remind them of somebody else. They're coming because of you. And that at the end's got to be pretty fulfilling.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and I try not to compare myself to others, let alone my heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I'm my own person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the audience knows it too. That's why they keep coming back. So, with that knowledge, does that put a little extra pressure on you when you turn the microphone on?
Does it turn on the pressure?
Yeah. You realize that they're waiting, they're depending on you to get them through.
Initially, it did. Like I want to say it was at the very least the first 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that that I was still feeling the pressure and I still didn't have a lot of viewers, like maybe 1, maybe 2 max.
Yeah. Well, I mean there's still people that are coming back for you. I mean that's I talk to people all the time. Says whether the house is 10 or 10,000, you put on the show, because that's what they paid for. That's what they're here for. And the more you practice something like that, the more natural you become at it. I think anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly. Because well, here's another thing. Back. Oh, this is also before all this, but I actually didn't used to talk much IRL or offline.
Right.
I mainly talk through text.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of like when I'm spoken to directly.
Right. So
it's
expressing yourself at your own accord is a little outside the box for you. That takes it.
And I figured one other thing I figured is this would also help me help to fix that, and get me out of the box.
So did you feel this has done that so far? Is it easier for you in real life to do the same thing?
It's getting there, actually.
Yeah.
It's like I still feel like I can more be myself online than IRL, but it's getting there.
Yeah, yeah. I hear there's just some folks who have said that you get to be more yourself with the avatar than you would without the avatar.
Hmm.
It's a conundrum in a way, but a good one in that folks are able to do that. And I hear that it sometimes starts trickling down into off screen life as well, which gives you a double win. Really, you get a chance to express yourself and all the things you want to express online, but then it starts kind of bringing you into off screen as well, and being a little more social and out with folks.
Hmm.
Well, and that's good to hear. I mean, I don't know what you'd have done 25 years ago to do that, other than get on chat or something and harass people and playing chess or something. I don't know.
Oh
But
god, back 25 years ago, I wasn't even allowed on the internet.
yeah, I know.
Just yeah.
But I'm talking about the technology. I mean, this wasn't here 25 years ago for no,
Mm.
not even close. And to find that folks are able to enjoy that and kind of blossom a little bit. So you've gotten this chance now to kind of I don't the kind of a prism effect where you get to expand and show people what you're really all about on the internet, where maybe you didn't have that tool to do that before.
Hmm.
Mm. So
Yes.
how does that hit you when you realize that you're getting kind of a more of a personal connection on the net?
It's honestly, I, I feel like a lot more comfortable with as using it as like the avatar as like the Zephyr Blaze identity than I ever did
Mm.
with text.
Hmm.
And
Well, it just gives
and,
you.
and, and like I can show off some of my other talents as well, more easily
Uh,
as well on stream. One time I actually did a karaoke stream on AIM. Though it was with I played it safe. I played it with the music. I know I can and
yeah.
play with that didn't have royalties.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with the ASCAP and BMI folks. I can tell you that from experience. That's
Yeah.
from the old radio days. I messed with. I got a lot of paperwork from them back in the old days. I had to
Yeah.
fill out. But with that,
Yeah.
so
In that
you
stream, it was mostly Guilty Gear music and
yeah
I think one Sonic song,
yeah
and then there was one other song I forgot what it was called, but it was like viewer submitted.
yeah.
Uh, I want to say I think it was something from StarCraft.
Oh wow,
I,
that's pulling one in. As but the the kind of courage that you need to do something like that. I mean, um, for someone who's looking to kind of find their footing in this type of a social atmosphere, um, was that kind of holding your nose and jumping in, or was that something you always wanted to do? It's to me that's a big mountain to climb.
well, growing up, I never really gave too much thought about what I truly wanted to do, but like oh but like it's there was aside from that dream I mentioned, which
Right.
yeah that getting yeah yeah words having words
I have that effect on people. Don't
I
worry
have
about
that again
it.
except for that EXA stopped working.
No worries. I do that to people all the time. That's my trademark. I've always wanted to make people really uncomfortable and make sure that they don't know what they're saying. That
Yeah, we can just put a we get to this moment and we can just put put a picture of Gremlin Zephyr with a loading wheel next to it.
That's right. Well, it's I was trying to get to maybe I didn't phrase it very well, but doing that kind of a karaoke stream to me would take a lot of courage. I'm not. First of all, I can't sing anything, and second, I haven't hit a note on purpose since 1985. So that's quite a while. The 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 act of doing that takes to me because of the audience that you don't see, you don't know how many people are out there. That takes a lot of confidence to do. Am I reading that right, or is it a question of just putting a blindfold on and jumping into the fray?
I was fairly confident in my singing ability, and I had for a while I had wanted to show off that in some way, shape, or form, but at the same time, like growing up, I was really too shy about it, which I did realize that sounds contradictory, but
No,
that is how it was.
it may sound that to you, but not to me. I mean, I can understand that completely. There's a big difference between singing by yourself in the shower and singing in front of other people. Just like a drawing an artistry and then showing it to someone and say, look what I did. There's quite a hill there to climb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so do you think that doing this streaming has helped you do that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One other thing I remember I could do during this whole period was growing up. Another thing that I could do growing up was voice impressions. I would sometimes when I at least try and show off, or when I got the courage.
Yeah.
I'd do some more recognizable characters, like say something from Looney Tunes, like, yeah, what's up, Doc?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're despicable.
Yes. Oh yes, I used to do that too when I was a kid. I got older. Of course, when the voice switched over to Mr. Radio Voice, the everything changed up obviously, and I couldn't. I might be able to do an impression one time by accident, but then I'll never find it again. Like Hank Hill. I used to be able to do a Hank Hill. But now
that boy ain't right.
Yeah, that's right. And then I try to do it now, and it sounds like I'm talking with a limp. It's not quite correct.
Dang it, Bobby. Funnily enough, I don't even watch King of the Hill.
But you know,
not exactly a show.
But you know pretty much exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, what do you got plans this year for the channel? You got any big moments you've got set up for the early part of the year?
It's one project that I did sort of start, but kind of put on the back burner because I was dealing with a lot emotionally. It's just I had given some thought to making my own abridged series, and this would be like Paper Mario 1000-Year Door.
Oh,
it'd be like in the same vein as Team 4 Star's Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a project and a half, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I said, what do you got plans this year? I'm going to build a moon rocket. Okay.
We're going to build a rocket to the moon!
I did. There's projects and there's projects. That's a project. I'm glad you don't aim low.
That's one ambition I got this year.
Yeah. It's
like right now I am still working on the script for at least the first episode and what other kind of stuff I want in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like one idea I have is like characters from some of the other Mario games, like say Fawful from Mario and Luigi game.
uh-huh. Yeah.
He has fury!
Oh man, it's great to hear that you're obviously enjoying yourself with it, and and it's become a real positive part of your life. It sounds like, um I'm looking forward to seeing what else you've got offered for us here coming up this year. I want to thank you again so much for sticking with me, because folks, we've been trying to get this together now for almost a year. There's just things happening, and it's getting schedules together and stuff that isn't always easy, but is well worth the wait. Zephyr, thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate it. And we're going to have
sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, we're going to have the links in the description. Check out what Zephyr's got going on, and we will have you back pretty soon. Let me know if you got some big events coming up so we can promo them. Okay?
Heck yeah!
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.